Morning, everybody. 8:01 a.m., June 23rd. Welcome to my channel. Now, what do we have here? Big gap down. Okay. Now, the reason why is the Kospi, the South Korean market, hit a circuit breaker. It was on a glorious run and it was down 10 to 11%, hit a circuit breaker. Okay. They have very large semiconductors in Samsung and this SK Hynix. Okay. So that put fear and people had to take money out of our markets of the AI trade. Does this hold? I don't know. Okay. But that was overdone in that market. Okay. A couple other things that are going on. The dollar, the dollar is over $101, breaking out of a huge consolidation. Okay. That's not good for equities. That hurts international um, um, profits. Okay. Higher dollar is not great. Higher dollar is not good for commodities either because commodities are based in dollars. The 10-year yield is down. People are buying bonds, possibly for fear. Okay. Remember, there's some rate hikes possibly in our future, possibly two. There's a lot going on. We still have the Middle East tensions going on. But now this South Korean crash of their market spooked our market. Now, is this a momentary blip? I don't know. Okay. VIX is at 19 and a half. Okay. Just makes this market nuts. Makes it very hard to be a swing trader. Okay. Today we have PMI data at 9:45. So this market's nuts. Now we kind of bottomed out a little bit for the last 4 hours. Maybe we rip up. We have a lot of poor structure above us now. Okay. A lot of poor structure. And yesterday I said the easier play was a short in the ES. Okay. All right, let's get into it. Welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. Use market profile and buying profile to find structure in markets. Long supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the previous day. That is my edge. That's how I come up with game plans. Now, once that market opens up, I use my market internals to find out where money is going off the open. That's all I care about. I care about what the previous day close is. Okay, I want to know where strength is off the open. That helps me set up my day. Also use Anchor VWAPs. My weekly expected move indicator for Thinkorswim I give away for free on my Discord. All right. Also, gamma flip points. Those are pivot points. They delineate between negative and positive gamma. We are back in negative gamma right now, folks. So expect volatility today. We were playing with the SPX gamma flip point for the month yesterday. Okay. I can show you that in a little bit. Below that, our market gets nasty. Okay. We will be most likely in negative gamma today. So get ready for some fireworks. They'll be here. We still have Micron's earnings. That's what's crazy. This happened before Micron's earnings. Okay. Micron is down 6% right now. Okay. Now, I got off track a little bit. Also use a little ICT in there. And I basically have my own proprietary system. Now, I didn't take a trade yesterday. Okay. That was a barcode. Generally, I don't like to trade barcodes. Okay. I did have one setup around the 75.59 area. I called that out live in my room. I said, that's probably an area I probably want to short. I'm stalking it. And then it just fell apart. It would have hit, but that's fine. Okay. That is fine. That's how trading goes. All right, that's just how trading goes. Now, do this every morning. Subscribe, set that alert, give you the market story, the market news, the economic calendar, technical analysis, and I always give you the long and short trade scenarios in the ES and the NASDAQ futures later on the stream. Now, if you want to join me live, you're going to join my Discord, Confluence Trading. Go to my YouTube homepage, click on the link, and sign up. What are you waiting for? Let me be your indicator. Okay? Let me be your indicator. Now, we're going to get right into future watch list. What do we have going here? Our VIX is up 13.19%. The dollar is up 0.26. 30-year bonds are being bought. Crude is down 0.24. The Dow is down 0.38. 10-year yield is down 0.47, almost a half percent. ES down 1.22%. Russell down 1.28. Gold down 1.5%. Nasdaq's down 2.5%. Okay, before Micron's earnings, 2.5%. Bitcoin down 3.21% at 62K. Ethereum down 4.41. Silver is the laggard, down 5.30%. I was long NEM last week. I took my profits and ran before that, okay? I'm glad I did. All right, Mag 7 Plus. Now, Microsoft, there's some news with them, and maybe it's right here. There's something else with them, I forget, but they're up, okay? Up 1.19%. Now, Netflix broke the key 75 support yesterday. It also broke my weekly expected move to the downside. This is quite a discount for Netflix. Okay, I did add in my portfolio a little more Netflix. Okay, I know some people aren't liking Netflix, right? So we'll have to see. It's not a full position yet, so I'm still adding to it. All right, Eli Lilly up 0.26. Now, laggards. Who is lagging? Let's just go 1%ers and above. Caterpillar. Remember, I talked about the data center build out yesterday. So that's getting some outflows, right? Down 1.40%. Google, they lost some very smart guy from their AI to Anthropic, I believe. And that is down 1.75%. Nvidia down 2.28%. Tesla's down 2.32%. Coinbase down almost 3%. Broadcom down 3.75%. AMD down almost 6%. And Micron down 6.63%. Okay. Remember, earnings tomorrow. Top sectors. PepsiCo. I'm eyeing that up in my portfolio. Okay, it's been beaten down. If we get any kind of more scares, this is probably going to get some money flows and it gets a good dividend. Again, that financial advice. Give me 1 second. All right, so like I said, this is not financial advice. I didn't do it yet. I'm just saying what I am doing. I am not a financial advisor, just to make that clear. Okay. So software is getting some love this morning. Oops, sorry. Okay. So some safety plays. I mean, Salesforce is not a safety play, but Johnson & Johnson is. Walmart is. I'm eyeing still a long Walmart. McDonald's up 0.70. Now, remember I said energy was oversold? It's been getting love the last couple of days. Like I said, I don't think that's a dip I'm going to buy. Okay. Now, who's down? Goldman Sachs is down 1.12%. Oracle down 1.75%. NEM, the mining stock, down 3.15%. GE Vernova down 4%. Data center build out. Okay, Qualcomm, a semi, down almost 6%. Qualcomm has been a wild stallion. Okay, sectors. Wow, look at the money going into staples. It's up 1%. 1%. Healthcare up 0.23. Safety. Energy up 0.09. Now, remember I said I'm eyeing communications. Okay. If there's a sector that I'm going to look into on a bounce, it's probably going to be communications, the sector ETF itself. Now, because what happened is Google finally joined the party in dropping. Netflix has continued to fall. I'm telling you right now, that sector is going to pop. Doesn't mean it's all out of salt. It just means you probably will get a pop. Okay. Let's see. Discretionary down 0.67. Industrials down 0.72. Then here's your big boys. Technology's down 3.14%. Monster. Semis down 5.18%. Now, are people really going to buy the dip today? I don't know. Right? Micron's earnings are coming. This could be a pullback to some people for Micron. I really don't know. All right, let's go to the calendar today. All right, today we have ADP employment change. We have PMIs at 9:45. So 9:45, I'm probably going to not do anything. Let the dust settle with this data. Okay? Now, Trump's schedule. He's been popping in and out. Let's refresh this. So today, let's see here. It's going to Reading, Pennsylvania, it looks like. These times are not in. Okay, let's see. President delivers remarks. Ooh. Okay. At 2:05, he's going to deliver remarks in Pennsylvania. I hope I'm not trading by then. But, he can talk throughout the day. We all know this. Okay. We already know the future slide is investors dumps crowded AI stocks. Okay. Right now, the news is not about the Middle East. It's about the Kospi. It's the South Korean index hitting circuit breaker. Okay. Moving on here. The U.S. waves are Iran sanctions. Trump warns Tehran it must abide by agreement. Nat Power, Tesla reached deal on first phase of 5 billion battery storage plant. EU to ramp up Metaprobe into addictive design. Oracle workforce shrinks by about 21,000 employees amid AI adoption. Now, generally, that's a good thing for like profitability for a company. You're losing having to pay those people, but today I don't know. The market don't like it. Sometimes it likes it, sometimes it doesn't. Bath and Body Works partners with Ulta Beauty. Okay, and again, for the bell, Nasdaq futures dropped over 2%, leading Wall Street losses as fears of U.S. rate hikes. And AI-related corporate spending hurt sentiment. Europe's stock 600 dipped, with tech stocks heading for the steepest fall since February as investors reassess firms that surged earlier this quarter on AI optimism. In Asia, South Korea's Kospi sank nearly 10%, marking its sharpest decline over 3 months, as foreign investors offloaded chip stocks. Japan's Nikkei fell to 1 week low as investors moved to take profits. Mainland China and Hong Kong shares also closed lower. Okay, commodities weakened with oil extending losses of signs of progress in restoring flows to the Strait of Hormuz after U.S.-Iran talks, while gold slipped as the dollar strengthened. Okay, let's see if there's any other news that I care about to talk about. Looks like IBM, JP Morgan raises rating to overweight from neutral to target price to 291 from 270. They were soaring a little bit after the close yesterday. Okay, they were soaring. And President Trump said, "I bought that and sold it. That was my mistake yesterday." I remember him saying. Okay. Okay. Let's move on. We are going to look at my lovely spread here. Okay, my lovely spread. So yesterday there was a warning. Okay, dispersion index was hitting highs again. Okay, this is a forward-looking measurement. Okay, I think it's 30 days out, and it says the individual stocks of the market's volatility outpaces the SPX's volatility. So it makes it a stock picker's market, right? More stocks individually have more volatility than our own market, which is true. Okay, which is true. Right? And then the core 3M is going towards record lows again. What does that mean? Takes the 50 top market cap stocks and says, are they correlated or not? Well, the lower they are, they're not correlated, right? Meaning a stock picker's market. So you have high dispersion and low correlation. Now I put them in a spread, right? So the spread here yesterday almost hit this low, which is an extreme level. It's extreme. Okay. And what does that mean? It just means that, it's getting it basically means an extreme level. It's a data point, right? It's never been this low, and it went this low again. Now, in this spread, okay, let's change this to a line chart just to make it easier to see. In this spread, when this is driving down, right? When this drives down, the market tends to go up. Okay, when this spread reverts back, it doesn't bode well for the markets. Hence, look at this. When it ripped down here and we pushed up, the market went down. Okay, if we get a move back up here, I'm probably going to look to short the market. Okay, because just in history, every time you rip up, notice what happens. Look at that big move up. Look what the market did down. Okay, it just happens over and over again. It just happens over and over. Let's go here. Right? It goes up. What happens to the market? Dip down. Okay, so this is notable. This is notable. Now, what was that Microsoft news? Maybe this will tell me because it's up pre-market. Okay, it's up almost $5. This says Microsoft 9-month operating cash flow 127 billion, 9-month net income 998 billion, AI and infrastructure spending from cash, not extra debit. Okay, that doesn't really tell me much, but it's up pre-market. Let's just change this to candlesticks. Okay, so Microsoft's been selling off now. Like I said, sulfur this morning is getting a little love. It is getting some love. It really is. Okay. Now, like I said, we know what our market looks like. This is what our market looks like. This is the ES, right? We're kind of crunched into this area, right? But if you go to like something like crazy, like the Micron, that's just crazy. We closed here and we're all the way down here now. This is parabolic. This is where the dispersion is the case, right? This does not look like our market at all. At all. Okay, look at Palantir's falling apart. Now, they lost business from France yesterday. That's why they're falling. Okay, Netflix, right here, they broke the 75. Pre-market, they're up. Looks like they rolled out an AI ad format. Now, again, like I said, I have no clue where this goes. I don't have a position. I'm not going to have a position larger than 5% of my portfolio, so I don't know what's going to happen here. I've just been adding a little bit. Okay. All-time highs is all the way, I believe, at like almost 135, 133. Okay. It's almost a 50% haircut. And yet got a lot of poor structure that can just rip apart. Now, I don't know if it does. Okay. No one knows. Nobody knows. Now, let's get into breadth real quick. Let's see how breadth shaped out yesterday. Okay, let's go to the 20. Okay, yesterday 52%. That doesn't tell us much, right? It's middling. 50, 56, nothing. Doesn't tell us anything. Market's just not doing anything. Well, obviously it's going to change today. Okay, it's going to change today. Let's go to the bullish percent index. That doesn't tell us anything, right? So this just checks in why I can't really be that heavily long or short and have a lot of conviction. Okay, so NDX got weaker yesterday. Now it's gonna be even more weak today. All right, and we'll just finish it up with the info. Technology sector, that actually got more on buy signals, 4%. Okay, now that's going to change today as well. And we'll just end off with financials. That got a little bump up, right? So we'll have to see. Now, communications is the one where I'm like eyeing up. That finally, look at that, finally took a dip down with the Google move. Okay, we come down into these levels. Okay, I told you, I'm all about that bounce. I'm all about the bounce. Okay, now we're going to get right into internals now. I'm going to show you the gamma level. Boom, internals. Okay, so I usually get these off my screen but today I didn't. Okay, so this is the gamma levels you get, the flip points you get for free in my Discord. Okay, so the white line represents the weekly gamma flip point. I'm just going to show you the people who are in my community every day who use my levels. They know these levels are beasts. Okay, this is the 0 DTE gamma flip point. Notice once we breached that, the market fell. And then guess what? We went to the weekly gamma flip point, hit that, and that was resistance. Guess what was support? The monthly gamma flip point in the SPX, which was 74.65. So we went negative gamma. Now the monthlies are more powerful. Okay, we are below that now. So folks, get ready for a wild day. It's going to be wild. Okay, get ready for volatility. Now internally yesterday, we were positive. Then we turned negative. And we kind of just stayed that way. And we barcode it. So tech was negative. Out of the top 4 sectors, 3 were negative. Financials had a little bit of love, not that much. Okay, now your equal weight was pretty much positive. That just means other sectors were getting money. Look, financials, industrials, healthcare, energy. Okay, but the market cap is what moves our markets. So that's why we kind of stayed lower yesterday. I mean, it wasn't crazy selling. It was not. Now this morning, we have crazy selling. All right, that's your market internals. Moving on to daily charts. Let's go to those daily charts. Now, look what we did yesterday. Remember I said this daily supply is a problem, right? Look at that wick from yesterday. Came in there, selling again. Closed here. Now, one pattern we see, right, is we're opening, then closing lower. 4 days in a row now. Okay. Give me a sec. I think I might sneeze. Hold on one sec. Alrighty. So where are we now? 734. Big gap down. Okay. We're all the way down here. Big gap down. Okay. Markets are rolling over again as I'm speaking. Pretty crazy. Okay. Now, let's go into futures. Now again, daily supply. Sold, sold, sold. There's the wick from yesterday. Sold. Remember I talked about it yesterday. Very hard for the market to go up where it was. It gave you the little move and then got sold. Okay. Now look what's forming here. We're about to hit the 50-day moving average here on the futures. Okay. Now, you're forming another daily supply here. Okay. So I'm going to click this. Oh boy. All right. Move this here. Oh, it's almost the same size. That's crazy. Let's move it to here. Boom. Snap. Back to back supply zones, daily supply zones now. Okay. The edge of this daily supply in futures is 75.13s around. So there's very heavy overhead supply now in our markets. Okay. That does not make it easy for the market to go higher. Okay. Qs. Now remember, these were relatively stronger constantly. And I said, ooh, this is a bullish pattern, right? We actually took out this supply zone yesterday. We took it out. I was like, ooh, boy, this is setting up. Well, we didn't know the Kospi, the South Korean market, was hit a circuit breaker, right? Where are we now? 717. Now look, there's a trend line here, and we're below it. We are all the way down here. Okay? All the way down here. Pretty devastating. Okay? Nasdaq futures. Setting up a daily supply zone as well here. Now remember this balance area. Okay? This could really get moving here. I mean, the semis and the data center builders is out of control. And now the Kospi just told you maybe we're putting too much money into these stocks. Now this could be a buying opportunity. I don't know. This is pretty bearish. Pretty bearish. Now, I'll leave you with this, which is the dollar. And you'll see here, look at that consolidation, folks. Poof. This is from, what is that, April of 2025. We've been consolidating, and now we're breaking out. Okay? This is not good for equities. Dollar strength is not good for equities. So this is something that could really rip up to at least 104. That, my friends, is a warning sign. And the bond market, the 10-year yields are going a little lower today. So that just means people buying bonds. Maybe out of fear, the rate hikes, I don't know. I'm just giving you the warning signs, okay? Let's go to the hourly chart. Let me get my trusty marker out. So this is the hourly charts. Okay. So, in the ES, I had this trend line. I was like, ooh. And when I was live, I said, ooh, it's breaking this trend. But I said, it's in heavy supply. And then when you saw this candle close down here, I was like, oh boy, that is not pretty. That is just not pretty. And then what I talked about yesterday was I said this volume, this area of high volume, and then the market was chilling inside of it. And I was like, I don't want to trade there. It's just, that doesn't make sense to me, right? Well, look at this move. Boom. Ripped down to this swing low. Okay? Now, I don't know if this holds. What I do know is if we take out around the 74.20s, that swing low, we take out the overnight lows, there's some poor structure left here to take care of. Then you have a big demand zone. Okay? Now, if we get selling that starts to eat through this, make that market generator information and go, ooh, wow, sellers are super strong. Now, in probabilistic terms, you should not cut through this like a hot knife through butter. You should get support. Okay? But we have to see. What else is on the chart? Well, guess this move, right? That's a pretty much a one-way move. This is not the best structure. So what could also happen? Well, if people go, oh, Micron's reporting earnings tomorrow, I want to buy that dip if Micron has good earnings. Well, this structure is very susceptible to get cleaned up. We could find ourselves back here. And again, who knows? I don't know. But you got to, this cuts both ways. Okay, you get resistance in here, that's bearish. Okay, you get support in the bullish value gap down here, that's bullish. Okay, now this is a big gap. Big gaps are very, very hard to trade. You're better off trading individual equities because the overall markets have to digest this big gap down. I mean, this is huge. This is a huge gap down. Remember, it's an individual stock pickers market, so this is crazy, really. Okay, crazy. All right, let's look at the NASDAQ. Remember, it was relatively stronger. Okay, I didn't get a chance to chart this. All right. You can see all my liquid levels have been violated, pretty much. So let's just get rid of these. This swing low has been taken. This swing low has been taken. Okay. So we'll real quickly just clean this up here. Put our little, oh, I have one here. Let's get rid of that one. Okay. Ooh, we got equal here. And we have a little swing high here. Okay. Alrighty. Now I'll have to do this later, but there is bearish for value gaps here, right in here, right? Poor structure. So we fell pretty hard. Now look, we're breaking the lows right now. But what are we in right now? We're in demand zone. Now remember, if we just keep churning through this, that is market general information that sellers are here. There's panic is real. We're negative gamma. The panic is real. Okay? We do have an equal low right there at around, what's that level? 297s. Okay? It's probably going to get hit. I mean, that's obvious. Okay, we got another one down here. All right, around, let's see what this level is. 29525. That's the next one. I'm in poor structure. But this has to be taken out first. So it's starting to roll through it. Okay, starting to roll through it. This is definitely NASDAQ is going to be relatively weaker. Okay. Because look, Staples is up 1%, right? Money flows are going to come into other sectors in the S&P 500. The NASDAQ's really tech heavy, so it's really going to, look at this, we're pushing right to it, okay? Pushing right to it. And yesterday, where were we? Now, this is very important. Ultimate balance, I'm going to just say around off number 306, 86, those 307 area, let's call it. I was talking about that yesterday. I said above it is bullish, below it is bearish. So you came out of ultimate balance. Big moves come from ultimate balance, okay? Big moves. So I think you should have problems here, meaning this should be supportive, okay? If it's not, write it down and say, whoa, panic selling in the house, all right? We'll have to see. All right, let's move on to the market profile, volume profile now. Remember, this is not these are not my easy days to trade. Okay, I am saying that these are not easy at all. Okay, so let's look at this together. Okay, this is our market profile, volume profile. Okay, so big gap down. So let's just get right into it. Yes, scenarios, long and short. And we're going to mark off the levels that I always do on gaps. Okay, first level is your overnight sessions 50% retracement is 74.85. All right, next level is your gap fill 75.27. Okay, very important levels. Okay, now let's break out the session of the overnights. 30-minute bars, that's all it is. Look at that steep, big fall, right? Okay, so obviously there could be a gap and go. I don't trade those. Okay, you have an equal low pretty much at this overnight low is probably going to get hit. Okay, so pretty, like I said, not going to be easy. Never is. Big gaps. Okay, never is easy. So what I'm going to start with is shorts. Okay, and what am I going to play? Okay, is a pullback. So what I want to see is this can get taken out. That's fine. But if you get a pullback, right, and you come into this first bearish value gap, and this is 74.55 to 74.67, then you have another one, 74.72 to 74.81. Okay. So if you come into here and you find resistance, right, and then you get a rejection, and then you put in a lower high, you are going to target the 74.21s. Okay. Then you are going to target the 73.83s. That's the full bullish fair value gap that's down there. That would make this an efficient market. And then we probably bounce, right? Do we get an all-out sell-off? I don't know. Okay. And I would say if we pull back even to the next bullish value gap, somewhere in the 74.72 to 74.80 area. So we do this, right? Come into here, get rejected. That's also a short. Target 74.21 and then the 73.80s again. Okay. Those are probably pretty good areas to gauge. Okay. Now, longs. Now, we are in demand right now. It's not a strong one. It's not a strong one. Okay. So what would I be looking for? Well, bullish value gap down here is from 74.06 to 73.84. Okay. Now remember, support in there with the demand zone in it overlapping is bullish. Now, I would prefer a quick move down through the overnight lows. Come inside this around the 7,400, which is also a psychological number, 7,400, right? If you get support here with a higher low, you go long. You target the 74.60s. Then you maybe hold the runner, okay, up to the 74, what is that, 74.90s. I mean, do you clean all this up? I don't know. That'd be crazy. All right. I think that's a pretty good long. I like it. Also, you're 100% net short in the overnight inventory. You're at the lows of the session. Micron's reporting earnings tomorrow. This could be sneaky long. This could be a sneaky long. Okay. Now, I don't think I'm actually interested in too much other than this. I mean, intraday setup might come, but right now, that's the only thing I'm interested in. Okay. Let's move on to the NASDAQ. Remember, we're falling out of ultimate balance in the NASDAQ. Remember that 307 area. Okay, so this is your NASDAQ. Long and short trade scenarios. Remember, we're in a gap. So what do? We mark off our levels. What do you mark off? 50% retracement in the overnight, 302.03. 50% retracement of the overnight session. And your gap fill, 305.02s. You mark those off. Okay? Now remember, we are in demand right now in the NASDAQ. And if the market respects it, we should get some support here. Okay? That's how you're going to gauge the NASDAQ. Can it churn through this demand? If it churns through it like nothing, like a hot knife through butter, you know sellers are strong. If it doesn't, you know that, all right, they're not that strong. We also 100% net short at the lows of the session. So this is setting up for a correction. Doesn't mean we're bullish. It just means it could be a correction. So let's start off, okay, with the longs actually in the NASDAQ. Okay, we're in demand. Now this level is going to be important as well. This overnight VPOC, the 29830s, that is going to be a pivotal level too. You know shorts are crowded there. Okay, so what would I like to see? Well, let's open up the session, by the way. And what would I like to see? Well, you could just get straight support in here, but let's say we just break that overnight low. And what I would like to see is come through that overnight VPOC. What I say, I think this 29830s. I forgot the level already. 29830s, yep. I want to see the market push above that level. Hold it and retest it. That's your long. Now you have a bunch of poor structure, okay? I would say target the 302s, 50% retracement. I don't know how much higher you get than that, but I think that's a good target. Maybe hold a runner. Okay? I don't really see myself too interested in anything else. Okay? Intraday, though, there will be something. Intraday. There will be something. Okay? So, let's go to shorts. Okay? Now, shorts. Okay? What would I see? Now, they got a month-to-date anchored view up here. Sellers are in control of the month. Sellers are in control of the week. Okay, those are the anchor view ups I look at. Now, shorts. I don't gap and go. I'm not a short guy's going to just open up and go short. All right, so what would I like to see? Okay, a couple of volume nodes here. So any pullbacks, let's say to last week's lows, okay, around the 29922s, a failure, come back in lower high. You target the overnight lows, 29707s, and then you're going to target a little above the 295s. Okay, if you lose that, maybe hold a runner. You have a bullish for value gap all the way to around the 293s. Don't know if we get there. That could be a decent short. Okay, you have one more that I'd say I'd take a stab at here. That would be the 30063s. If that causes resistance, right, and you come back in, put a lower high in, target the overnight lows, 29707s, and then the 295s, and see if you can hold a runner and get that one down to the 293s. It's really all I'm interested in. Okay, any big pullbacks past the 50% retracement of the overnight, could still work, but I'm really going to lean heavy on internals. Okay, so that's it for me, folks. Now, overall market outlook. Big gaps are hard to trade. That's the bottom line. Big gaps are hard to trade. They really are. They do a lot of crazy stuff off the open. Will be a negative gamma. So I would just say caution. Caution. Okay? And use market generated information. Nasdaq's in demand, so is ES. Okay, a bigger demand zone in the Nasdaq. You really want to see how that reacts. Remember, if the sellers are strong, they will push through that demand like it doesn't exist. So that's my advice for today. Big gaps, Never hard to trade. Individual equities are a little easier to trade. All right. So, that being said, smash the like button. If you enjoyed that analysis, that would be much appreciated. Smash that like button. As always, join me every morning. Subscribe, set that alert. Give you the technical analysis. Just gave you a long and short trade scenarios in ES and NASDAQ futures. As always, want more in-depth coverage, you're going to join my Discord. It's Confluence Trading. Go to my YouTube homepage, click on the link, and sign up. What are you waiting for? Let me be your indicator. Now, I have my process. We have our plans. Hope you have your process and your plan. Remember, no trade is a trade. Wish everybody great trading. If I don't see you on my Discord, I'll